What's up, everybody? And on today's unbiased hard take, JB is currently on his honeymoon right now, celebrating. So you guys are stuck with me this week, and boy, do we have a lot to talk about. And we're going to start with the NFL pick'em as always, because we have conference championships are here, and of course you have the Chiefs and the Bills. And I've said it, I will say it again. I have plenty of stats here for you guys today. Here's the truth. I put it on Facebook. Link to that in the description down below. Also, JB will be making his picks on these games on Facebook also, because again, he is in Florida celebrating and enjoying that. Hope you're having fun out there, my friend, and we'll see y'all next week. But here's the reality for Josh Allen. 4-1 in the regular season against Mahomes. Very good, right? Oh, he beats him every time almost. Only lost one time. And again, this year beat him. Chiefs only lost 2 games this year, and one was with the starters. That was the Bills. 0-3 in the playoffs. I put on Facebook, again, a link to that will be in the description down below, as always, that Josh Allen, I think, truly believe this, they have a 0% chance of winning this game. It's playoff time. Josh Allen will always crap the bed when Daddy, Patrick Mahomes, shows up. The Bills have a 0% chance, and I firmly believe it'll be a close game, could go to overtime. But the Chiefs will win the game. That's what the Chiefs do. Josh Allen, they'll choke it away. Josh Allen's going to be the next Dan Marino and never get a Super Bowl ring. He's not a playoff quarterback. 0-3 against Mahomes in the playoffs. I mean, until proven otherwise, 0% chance. It'll be a close game. The Chiefs will win like always. Chiefs go in Super Bowl. Imagine that. Then we have I still can't believe it, NFC Championship week, and I'm saying this, the Washington Commanders versus the Eagles. And as much as it would be cool to see a rookie quarterback make this Super Bowl, it's never happened before, and I don't think it's going to happen here. The Eagles are just a better team. I mean, 2 weeks in a row they go out there, and it was a very impressive display for what the Eagles currently are doing to teams. So the Eagles eliminated the Rams and the Packers, and very, very good, 2 very, very good teams with double-digit winning teams. And I don't think it's going to be any different here. I think ultimately, when it comes down to it, Jane Daniels, I think, will make a mistake. It'll be a close game, but Saquon Barkley, they just have a better roster from top to bottom. They might have the best roster in the league, the Eagles, that being. So it really is awesome, though, for the Commanders. They could lose this game 55-0, and they're playing with house money. I mean, an NFC Championship game appearance with a rookie head coach, Dan Quinn, and a rookie quarterback. Wow. And it's really good to see, because what that fan base and organization has went through from the Dan Snyder era, we all know about that, from FedEx Field falling apart, still is. But they're working on that now. They have some new ownership. They have a new coach, a better environment, they have a better chemistry, and it's good to really see that team revitalized, because the Redskins really are a big part of NFL legacy and NFL history, going back to the SCAD players and that Super Bowl championship and things of that nature. Doug Williams is a great all-time Redskin player. So a lot of great players from the Redskin days. And for the Commanders, and of course the name change, they went through all that, called the football team. So that fan base has really been through a lot. First playoff game win since, I believe, 2005. So, again, really impressive. But I just do think the Eagles are the better team here, and they're going to get to the Super Bowl. So that is my prediction. Again, I think the Chiefs will play the Eagles in the Super Bowl, and it'll be a rematch of a few years ago. And I think that's going to be the case here also. So, with that, we have a lot more news, and I'm going to jump into the world of the NBA here. And I have some stats on the NBA here today, because the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler trade stuff, I'm going to get a little heated in this subject, I think. So I'm going to start it out by saying this. Jimmy Butler, I have no hard feelings for. He's one of the Miami Heat's best players to ever play for them. 5 playoff appearances in the Jimmy Butler era, 2 finals appearances, a 6-time All-Star. Jimmy Butler has really, really kept the Heat relevant since the departure of the Big Three and Dwayne Wade. And he's gotten us to 2 finals. We've won finals games. Didn't quite win the championship, but really, we've done everything with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero core. And we've rode it all the way to the end. Excuse me, we rode it all the way to the end. And I'm going to say by this because Jimmy Butler is a very selfish player. He is ultimately wanted out of everywhere he's ever been. He wanted out of Chicago. He wanted out of Minnesota. He wanted out of Philadelphia. And now he wants out of Miami. They said it on the Charles Barkley and the TNT crew. They flat out said it. I forget which one it was, but they said it to Jimmy Butler. Just everywhere he goes, he always wants out. He's the problem. It's kind of like this. You get married 7 times or 5 times, right? At some point, you have to look in the mirror and realize that maybe you're the problem, and this is no different here. Everywhere he's ever been, it's always been drama. He's been suspended multiple times, lost millions of dollars. When it comes to this season and suspensions, it's been a clown show. The Miami Heat have been a a clown show. Still recovering from being sick. It's been a joke. And we're being laughed at by other teams right now because of the drama. He said he's willing. I seen a report. Of course, we know how all that is sometimes. That the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler, he's willing to play anywhere but Memphis for some reason. That makes no sense. They're one of the best teams in the league. That's kind of weird. But he's willing to be traded anywhere but Memphis. Let's trade him to Washington or Charlotte or something. It is Portland. Something like that. That'd be funny. Let's trade him to something like that and get some expiring players. I mean, the Suns did load up on some draft picks in a trade recently as well. So that's something to monitor as well. But the Heat need to look to get expiring contracts, and they can kind of look to spend some money in the offseason this coming for a free agent. We've rode the Jimmy Butler train. Tyler Hero's developing well. Bam's still a really good player. Definitely not a number 1 on a roster or on a playoff roster, but he's a good number 2, number 3 player. So the Heat just need to trade Jimmy Butler. Get him for a bag of chips at this point because he's hurting team chemistry. Eric Spoelstra's had to address it a little bit as well. And it's just hurting team chemistry to where right now we're in the play-in as the 9 seed with a losing record, 1 game below 500. That's not Miami Heat basketball. That's not Heat culture. He's a distraction right now. He's late for team flights. He doesn't sit in the team huddle. There's photos of him sitting outside the huddle. He kind of rolled his eyes while the teammates were kind of trying to pump him up, and he wouldn't even acknowledge them. He's a bad teammate, and he is selfish. But he has done a lot for the Miami Heat organization. But again, everywhere he goes ends up in turmoil. And at some point, he needs to look in the mirror, and that's just reality. So that's come to an end, unfortunately. But we have some more. We got a lot more to talk about, guys, because there's been a lot of head coaching hires in the NFL this season. And currently, of course, everyone knows that Mike Vrabel signed with the Patriots to be their new coach. And they have a good quarterback now, a good core of that, a good head coach who's had success with the Titans. Had them on the cusp of a Super Bowl where Derrick Henry had his best season as a pro. And he got Ryan Tannehill, for Lord's sake, to an AFC championship game. So we got to take that into consideration. That's a great hire. He's a former player, played for the Patriots as well. So that's going to be a very good hire. And then, of course, we had Aaron Glenn with the Jets, and he's a former player. He played from 94 to 2008. He was the 3rd pick of the supplemental draft, actually, back in 94. And, of course, as a coach, so he's been a player before, so that's experience in and of itself, similar to Mike Vrabel. But a Cleveland assistant defensive back coach, New Orleans' defensive back coach, Detroit's defensive coordinator for 3 seasons, to where this season was really his most impressive, where they were able to coach that defense up with all them injuries, that big injury to Aiden Hutchinson, and he really had to coach up some subpar talent, and they were actually able to get to number 1 seed. And he was probably the 2nd best candidate, or the highest, sort of highest hype coach out there, and he's the biggest name. And for the Jets to get him, that gives them good direction. He'll go in there, take control of the building. They need new culture there. We'll see if Aaron Rodgers comes back and plays for the Jets. That's all to be remain seen. But they have a man in charge now, and it really is a good hire. He's very well deserving for this job, and the resume speaks for itself. A player for over 13 years in the league, and been an assistant coach, been a defensive coordinator for multiple years. So they have a lot of talent, the Jets do, on that defensive side of the ball. So they're showing a direction that they want to be a physical defensive football team. And I'm all for it. So we'll see if maybe he can get the Jets out of their playoff drought. But good hire. And then, of course, Ben Johnson. Everyone knows he was now the Bears coach and was the top hot candidate on the market. And he also is deserving of it, and we'll see if it works out. Every year, it's always something with Chicago. Oh, our new quarterback, our new coach. Oh, this is the year. It's always something like that, and it never is. But, I mean, ultimately, he was Miami's wide receiver coach. He has been Miami's tight end coach, and, of course, Detroit's offensive coordinator for 3 seasons now as well, to where he really helped revitalize the Lions, and who's ever been able to say that? So that's impressive. They had some of the best offense in the league with Jamar Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, all those weapons. So a good hire for the Bears there with a young quarterback, especially showing that you want to get someone offensive minded. And they do have good weapons with Rome Odunze. They have obviously Keenan Allen, things of that nature, DJ Moore. So a lot of weapons in Chicago. So we'll see how it ends up for them. It's always a hype season, and it never seems to work out. And hopefully it stays that way. But a good hire for the Bears. I'm not biased. Then, of course, you have, this is my favorite hire, Pete Carroll to the Raiders. And I don't want to hear anything about his age. He's 73 years old. Our current president, Trump, right now is 78 years old, and our sitting president runs the country and is doing a good job of it, by the way. And then Joe Biden, who just left office also, is 82 years old, leaving office. So they were running the country, our 2 former presidents. Love them both. I mean, you always want to respect the commander-in-chief, no matter who it is. And so if they're both able, who's much older than Pete Carroll, both these guys is my point, to run the country, I'm sure Pete Carroll at 73 is capable of teaching a game. So I don't want to hear anything about age. He brings a good energy. He'll bring stability from a team really just starting out from the bottom. They need culture. They need stability. And he will bring that. And they need energy. So he's going to bring that. He's going to hold people accountable. So long as the Raiders are patient and give him at least a year or two to develop it, I think by year 2, especially really year 3 of this, the Raiders will be ready to compete. And of course, at that point, he would be 70, 75, 76. So would he want to coach at that point? So that's a question mark also. But ultimately, a good hire for the now. So he'll get some foundation in Las Vegas, hopefully. Because the Raiders are a former great organization also. I want to see them succeed. I really, really do. Teams like that. Then you have Liam Cohen, who a lot of drama with him with Tampa Bay right now. A lot of reports that people are furious with that. But I don't really understand why. Trent Baalke was their general manager. He dropped out of the race. Things changed. Business, it's business. There's nothing personal about it. Things changed. The Jaguars got rid of Trent Baalke, which reports were, from my sources, that he had a lot of issues with Trent Baalke and didn't want to work with him. And the Jaguars fixed that problem. Things change. Obviously, in the NFL, it's a business. And then once that happened, he took the head coaching job. That's really unprofessionalism from the Buccaneers standpoint, in my opinion. I mean, reports were that he was kind of not responding to the players and stuff like that. Grow up. We're all adults here. Come on. Calm down. And he helped Baker Mayfield have a career year with 106.8 QBR. Oh, man. Lights are out. But also is over 40 touchdowns. 41 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. That is a crazy number. So really, that's a good hire also. And the 2 teams that haven't hired a coach are the Saints and Cowboys. And the Saints are in kind of a mess right now, as are the Cowboys. So for them not to have coaches yet, you want to really get a coach and move forward. Because now these coaches that have been hired are putting together assistant rosters and things of that nature. And you don't want to miss out on top assistants as a new coach taking over really a bad organization. So that's all as far as head coaching hires. We will see who the Cowboys and the Saints end up hiring, and we'll review that also this week. And hope I'm wrong. I really don't want to see a Eagles-Chiefs Super Bowl. That's like the worst possible scenario, in my opinion. I really would like to see a Bills-Commanders Super Bowl. That'd be something fresh. But we'll see who wins the games, and hopefully they let them actually play it fair. That's all I'll say. Again, that's all I got. Like on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify. Links to all that will be in the description down below. Hope you're enjoying your vacation with the Mrs. JB, your honeymoon, down there in Florida where it's a little warmer. They did get some snow though, so a lot much warmer than it is here in Indiana where it is now 4 degrees where I am currently. So that's all I got. Till next week. As always, boiler up. Let's win tonight. Come on, let's bounce back. Let's go Heat. Wait, it's a mess. Let's go Heat though nonetheless. Flames up. And Go Pack, go, baby. See y'all next week.